What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch. And today, we got a brand new video for you. We are not going to be summoning. We're going to be telling you if you should be summoning. So, been a few days. I had a little bit of a busy weekend, but I should be back on the normal schedule starting today. Now, this video is... how do I want to say this? It's not really a follow-up from a previous video that I did, but I did make a video last week talking about upcoming units tier list, and I had Goddess Elizabeth in must summon. If you guys want to check that out, I'll link it in the cards right over here. But in that video, I'll actually, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's go to, I'll pause and I'll put it up. Okay, so if you take a look over here, this is the video that I made, and I talked about the upcoming units that we don't currently have on JP, or other way around, that we currently don't have on Global that are currently out on JP. And these are the units that I somewhat ranked in a way to give you an idea of who's important to go for and who's not. And you can see here that I wrote in, I hate the phone, give me 1 second. Okay, and you can see here that I put Goddess Elizabeth in must summon. So this is going to be a follow-up to that. Kind of talk about why I've changed my stance a little bit on this, and why she might be a skippable unit, and actually preferably skippable for a vast majority of you guys. Now, let's go back to the banner and take a look. This banner is actually a pretty decent banner, right? It's our second festival unit. We have the LV Melee back, and we have Goddess Elizabeth, but there's an issue here. Even though it's a 4% banner, they're only at 0.25 rates, and that is not good enough. When Festival King came out on JP, he was at a 0.5% rate, and we are not taking anything less than that. I don't like this one bit. Chances of actually getting a Goddess Elizabeth on your rotation is extremely slim. Now, the other units on this banner are actually pretty decent. You're able to get your Derriere, you're able to get Fraudrins, or your, like, this is amazing for me, right? Like, I need 2 more Fraudrins to max them out. I would love to get a couple more Zeldris, Zaratras, just to get more of him. I never summoned on Mono, and I will gladly take Easton dupes. And then you have your 3 original OCs as well, the 2 Lilias and the Valenti. So overall, this is a pretty good banner. Now, the issue ends up being that we just had so many back-to-back banners of things we wanted to pull on. Especially with KOF just leaving. You can see here that my gem pool is pretty low. If you remember any of my videos prior to the KOF collab, or if you've seen any of my screenshots on Twitter, I was over 2,000 gems on that KOF banner. Now I'm at 300 because it took me 4 full rotations to max out every single KOF unit. And if you guys even did 1 rotation, right? Like, you managed to get your 50 tickets, you did your 5 multis, and then you still happened to get, you still had to spend 450 gems to finish out that rotation, because that was an amazing banner. Like, that KOF banner had amazing units that are not coming back, and if they are coming back, I actually do believe they will come back at some point. But it also had that Gothra on there, and then it had the 4 KOF units. You had 5 new units, all of which were good besides Athena. And that's fine. Like, that was a great banner to summon on. So most of you guys here don't even have 900 gems. And one thing that I will tell you, summoning on a fest banner without 900 gems is a trap. Please never summon on a festival banner without 900 gems. You're just going to cause some angry feelings for yourself. I would not recommend doing, even if you had like 7 or 800 and you'd get to 900 before the banner leaves, sure. Like, we have a full month of this banner. You can see it right there above. Like, right over here. Right. But if you're at like 500 gems, even 600 gems, chances are you are not getting another 300 gems by the time this banner leaves. Do not summon. The point of this is learn to know when you should summon. Now, The other thing is, even if you have 900 gems, I am saying that there is a good chance that you can just skip here. And the reason for that is not because Goddess Elizabeth is not a good unit. She's an amazing unit. She is a top tier unit. This unit is, dare I say, godlike. Now, why would I say to not summon then? It is because this banner just, it's awkward timing. And I'm going to go back to the other tier list that I just had up before and talk about this now. The reason for this is these two units up here. You got your, excuse me. Why did I have sorry? Okay, yeah. These two units right up here, King and Hendrickson, are just better. Up until now, they are still most likely the strongest team in the game. There is a team that's running around that is somewhat countering it, which is a Green Esterosa Tarmiel team. But besides that, this King Hendy team will destroy everything. There's no question, it beats almost every single matchup across the board. It's so busted. And they are on the next, they're just on the next festival unit, right? Like, you get a free Hendrickson if they do it the same way. So you're guaranteed the Hendrickson and you just need the King. And on top of that, King was at a 0.5% rate. And Goddess Elizabeth and Festival and LV Melly were on that banner too. Because every single time there's a new festival unit, they're going to keep putting these older ones on there. So what I'm saying is, it might be better to just save your 900 gems for Festival King and summon there. As of right now, Goddess Elizabeth will run the meta. She will be on every PvP team of someone who has pulled her, just because she is super strong. It means you probably won't be playing too much PvP. It means you won't be hitting Challenger on Geared if you were before, if you don't have her. There's yeah, like, you know, it might be a little bit rough. She's also an amazing PvE unit, so something to keep in mind. She helps beat a lot of the content that is difficult later on when we get things like Tower of Trials, which is a JP only mode right now, but it gives us a lot of materials. However, it's very difficult with the upper floors. There's, I don't know how many floors there are, maybe like 20 or something like that. With the upper floors needing like over, or the enemies are at least over 250 KCC, with the highest one being 300 KCC. Having Goddess Elizabeth makes the world of a difference there. So yes, she is an amazing unit, and you will be using her all the time if you have her, even in PvP and PvE. But she is not like, she's not herself anything flashy, anything good in like, she's not fun, okay? She is not a fun unit. Let's just put it that way. And part of this game is just having fun. King Hendy is fun if you're the King Hendy player. King Hendy is not fun if you are not the King Hendy player. But major point being is that I don't think King Hendy is that far away from us. I think we will get another festival within the next, maybe next 2 months, I'd say. So if you can hold out then, and even if you're at 900, maybe you can get to 1800 gems and do 2 rotations, and that'll be insane. But if you're not at 900, don't even attempt to summon on Elizabeth. That is my stance on it. You can spend your gems however you want. If you're like, for example, I am going to do 1 rotation. For someone who just did 4 rotations on KOF, who's maxed out. I've maxed out my LV Melly in 2 rotations when he first came out. You know, majority of my boxes maxed out 6/6. Like, I do not care about Goddess Elizabeth. I've used her on JP and I ain't using her no more. So we're going to simply do a rotation, get 1 copy of her so she's in my box. Whatever extra I pull, great for me, but I'm not doing any more than that. That's my take. I don't think you should worry about Goddess Elizabeth too much. She is an amazing unit. She deserves to be in that tier of must summon, but you have to look at the context of everything surrounding it, right? I think she is a skippable unit because she'll be back on King's Banner and you'll have a decent chance of pulling her there. One thing to keep in mind is that the same way how Same way how on the final thing you can choose between these two, you will also be able to choose a Goddess Elizabeth there on King's Banner. So, you know, you don't really have to worry about it too much. For whatever reason, if you manage to pull dupes of Elizabeth and LV Melly beyond 6-6, which is, I don't know what the odds of that are happening, but you can exchange for them. You can see here that now we have an LV Melly here that'll be exchanged for 3 Elizabeth dupes, and then when King comes out, Goddess Elizabeth will be in here as well, and it'll keep continuing on for each festival unit. That's really it. I don't think you should worry about Goddess Elizabeth for now. Honestly, not that big of a deal. You can summon for her if you want. If you have the 900, go ahead. But I recommend just simply skipping as of right now. And holding on and not worrying too much about PvP for the next little bit. You can still play. I think Ult Rush might be fine if you run Blue DN in there. There's some teams that might work if you have Pen with Ugal. Some of the KOF units might change things up. Green Gother also helps out a lot, stopping things like Ult Rush a little bit with his move. That's it for now. That's my take on it. Majority should pass unless you really want her. That's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.